Yay! Welcome everybody to the Monday night. I feel like I should call it the Show Me the Money Call tonight or something, but it's not. It's just our weekly Zoom that we love jumping on with you guys. I'm Stephanie, and this is my husband, Joel Dunn, going on 11 years in this crazy business. But I'm excited because we have special guests on tonight. And so we're actually going to have Rachel and Sean jump on and share a little bit about their story and some things that they've learned along the way and some things that they can share with us tonight so that you guys can really take hold of this business and take limiting beliefs off and know that you can do this business. It doesn't matter where you come from or where you start or how many jobs you may have. You'll hear a little bit of her story here in just a second. But do you have anything to add?
Yeah, guys, get ready because this is a very powerful story. And this is going to basically give you an insight of what's getting ready to happen for you. Guys, we're getting ready to run into the biggest event of the year. Not only that, this is going to kick off the next decade of what we do with It Works. So if that doesn't get you pumped up, these guys are going to share their story on how this can so quickly radically change your life from where you are now to where you could be just 6 to 12 months from now. So I can't wait for them to get on here and tell you.
Yeah. So you're going to want to stay on through the end because at the end, I'm going to give you guys some things that are working because, I'm all about, okay, this is what you need to do to go do the work to make things happen because at the end of the day, how do we do this business? We sign distributors and customers. So we'll teach you a little bit more on that at the end. But Rachel, Sean, can you guys, I think we're going to unmute you. Okay, you're on. So Rachel, Sean, I'm so excited. I love that she wanted to bring Sean in too because his story is incredible. I don't want to say it's better than yours, Rachel, but I love it. So go ahead and let everybody know who you are, when you joined, what rank you are, and that story of yours.
Awesome. We're literally so excited. Thank you so much for asking us. And it's just crazy, looking back at everything and just what has happened. It's just insane. So I'm Rachel Wisser, wife of Sean Wisser, and I'm 27 and I'm a triple diamond with It Works. And I've been doing this for almost 5 years. It's really, really crazy how fast the time has gone by and a lot of stuff has happened, but to kind of just bring you guys to back to when I first started and how I got into this. I was working 3 jobs and going to school full time when I started this. I was that busy person, and just a little bit of to kind of bring you guys along with what was going on in my day to day. I would literally wake up, my day would start probably around 7 a.m. and I would be at school all day, literally all day, and then I would rush to my serving job. And if I wasn't doing my serving job, then I was rushing to my nannying job. And so my day would end probably usually around 10 or 11. And so I just was never ever looking into a home-based business. That was just the farthest thing from my mind. And I thought that it was normal to be a very busy college student. I thought that that was just how it was. And I didn't really know what I wanted to do in college. I mean, honestly, it was never a passion of mine. It was never something that I was really excited about. Another reason, because it's so expensive. So I was just never super excited about it. And I changed my major probably 4 different times. I discovered I really liked natural things. I loved health and wellness. And so I wanted to go more on that path. And that's crazy, again, how this kind of dropped in my path. But there was no major at my school that aligned with any of this decade in my 20s and my whole life is ahead of me. I'm I don't know what I want to do. And that was the worst feeling to me because I was constantly on this search, asking people and just trying to find ways of how I could align my passions and what I wanted to do with a career. And so I just remember random little thoughts of man, I wish I could work for myself, or I wish, but that was never an option because if you work for yourself, it normally costs thousands of dollars to do that. And so that was just never an option. It was more a little dream. And so I just remember there was 2 specific moments. I told this to some people last night within my story that really planted that open door of me. I truly feel these scenarios were why I looked into doing this and why I even joined this. So as you guys know, I worked at a restaurant. I was a server. That was my main job. Even though I had 3 jobs, my serving income was my main income. I was working there the most out of everywhere. And it was at Ruby Tuesday. It's kind of like an Olive Garden. And after 4.5 years, I was what they called like a senior server. So I would train people. They wouldn't, ask me if I wanted to train them. They would just kind of pop them on me and be like, you're training this person. And so I had been there the longest out of everybody that was currently at that restaurant. I was there the longest. I had literally saved my boss's butt at least 3 times with like skipping class because other servers called out and he really needed somebody. So I was really loyal to that company. I was really loyal to Ruby Tuesday, and I worked really, really hard. I always got really good tips. So I never just skated by. I worked my butt off there. And there was a time, kind of toward, right before joining this business, they changed the uniforms. So it used to be like all black uniforms. And then I promise this is a very significant part. So they changed the uniforms where now you had to wear jeans. And so everyone was kind of getting used to that. Like, okay, what kind of jeans? It was very like gray area. So it was a Friday night. A few days before that, my car had been having major issues. Like the battery went bad. I needed stuff with my brakes, like everything was happening at once, and I didn't have that income, and I hated asking like my parents or family for money. So I just remember like I was feeling really stressed out. I still had other things to pay for, school books, things like that. And I walked in there on Friday night, and I'm like, okay, if I can just make like $120 or so today, like I'll be good. And so I walk in there, and my boss was in a really bad mood, and he said, your jeans are not the right shade. And I was like, what are you talking about? And he was like, your jeans are not the right shade, so you can't work tonight. And I just remember being like, no, like that's a joke. And he's like, no, you have to go home. And I'm like, it's like, I literally, my mind started spinning, my face got hot. And I just remember, trying to fight him on it. And he's like, I don't want to like go home. Like, you're not arguing about this. And I turned around and I walked to my car, and I don't struggle with like anxiety attacks, but I definitely had an anxiety attack in the middle. And I just remember pouring out my heart and being like, God, I need something. Like, please, this is not cutting anymore. I can't deal with this. Like, I felt like I was drowning in school, drowning at work. Like, it was ridiculous. I felt completely betrayed. And so literally within 2 days, you guys, 2 days, I see one post from a girl that I had not talked to in 7 years. And she was posting about paying cash for her.
Hey, Rachel, can you hear me? I don't want to cut you off, but
Wasn't even like talking about big money.
All of a sudden we lost her.
Talking about paying cash for her groceries because of her social media business, for months or for weeks. I had no idea what it was about. I can hear you.
okay. I was like,
We lost you.
we lost you, and I don't know. Are you guys in a bad spot? Maybe. No, I don't see them. Where are they? It's because it's going to be so good. That's why. Is she muted? No.
No.
Okay. Maybe I'll just have her call, and I'll just
Hold on while we have signal difficulty.
I'm gonna call her. I'm gonna try this, guys. Hold on a second. We're gonna think outside the box. I'm calling her on her cell phone, and maybe it'll be clear and you guys will hear her. Let's try that. Hi, I'm gonna put you on speaker, and then
Okay.
and then what I'm gonna do is just have you. Can you guys hear her? Like this?
Hello?
You guys can hear her? Okay, so we're gonna do it that way because I want people to hear your story. I'm like, God is like all over this, we're like, we need to hear the story. So we just have to think outside the box, right, guys? So this is how Stephanie thinks outside of the box. So, all right, so here we go. Okay.
This is awesome. Was there a place that I left off that it started cutting out?
Start with the jeans. I think that's about where I started losing it, so we'll go there.
Okay, cool. So I I walk in and my boss was having a bad day, I guess, and he said, "You have the wrong shade of jeans. Like, not even the wrong color jeans. Like, it was the wrong shade. They were a little too light." And I'm just freaking out. Like, like he's like, "You have to go home. I can't let you, work tonight." As if that's gonna affect like my table. Super weird. So he basically sent me home because my jeans were not the right shade, and I lost out on some very significant income. So it spiraled me into this anxiety attack when I got in my car, and I just cried. I literally cried for probably a whole hour, and I just was feeling so unhappy in my life. I'm like, I don't even know what I want to do in school. I don't know what I want to do in college. My boss is treating me like this after 4.5 years and like saving their butt multiple times. I cannot even believe this. So then, literally, this is how crazy God's timing is. Within 2 days, like it had to have been either a day and then the next day or just 2 days later, I see a post from a girl that I had not talked to in 7 years. I had met her one time when I was like 16, and I see her with this one post talking about paying cash for her groceries because of her social media business. And that tug, it was like God just like pushing me, like, you need to message her, you need to ask her what she's doing. And so I listened and I messaged her, and yes, I still had those hesitations and those assumptions, but I'm like, I know I'm seeing this post for a reason. I was not a watcher. I didn't watch the business. I didn't think about it for a while. So that's why it's just like so important to be posting, because what if that girl, my enroller, what if she had had a bad day that day? What if she had been gotten told no multiple times and she was like, I'm just not going to post today? That would have like totally robbed me of an incredible future. So she decided she was going to still post that day. And so I asked her a few questions, and I didn't have the $99 to sign up. As soon as she told me that, my heart sunk for like 5 seconds. But then I'm like, no, I know I have to do this. I know that this is happening for a reason. And so I kind of ghosted our conversation. I didn't really tell her what my plan was. So she probably thought that by her telling me like the 99 and everything that I was not interested, but I left the conversation because I immediately went to my coworkers asking, can you guys pick up my shift? Can anyone pick up a shift? Or does anyone need me to pick up a shift? Because I wanted to pick up a shift to get this money to join. And so it took me over a week to be able to join, because I just was like, I'm going to do whatever I need to do to pick up a shift to do this. So that's what I did. And I completely like dove in blindly, never tried a product before. I had never really heard of this before. And so I dove in, and I kind of had a slow start my first couple of months. I mean, I signed up a couple different customers, but what really changed things for me was when I started using the product myself. And I just saw like huge changes in my skin, in my health. I was hearing other people's stories. And so I just got super, super excited about the product. And I started listening to other college students like Courtney Moore and things like that. And the light bulb just seriously went off. And I was like, what am I doing? Like, there's other girls who are in college that are younger than me who are making really good money in this business. So at that point is when I kind of got serious about this, and I was like, you know what, even though I'm really busy, like, I know that there's things in my life that I can rearrange, and I can stay up 30 minutes later or whatever, and start doing this consistently. So I started working the business like consistently, like every single day, checking the team page every day, listening to YouTube trainings, and within about 6 months of just being consistent, I was still really busy and going to school and working 3 jobs the next 6 months, but I just decided I was going to start being consistent, and I was going to go all in. After about 6 months, I was making more with this business than my 3 jobs combined. And so that's when I was like, oh my gosh, this was not planned. Like, I did not think this was going to happen. And so I just went like all in after that. And like, after that, it's just been crazy. Like, we promoted multiple times since then. I earned the Diamond $20,000 bonus. And then this past March,
You're good.
You're good. Sorry, Joel. I was having Joel hold it, and he got the speaker. So I was like, no.
Okay.
Don't. I'll just hold it.
I'm like, you're good.
Yeah, keep talking. I'm like, what are you hitting, Joel? But
Okay, cool. Okay, awesome.
I
I didn't
love.
know if you wanted me to.
Nope, I love that, you guys, that she just had a lot of jobs. So when you hear people say, I don't have time, you can find the time, even if it's 30 minutes extra, in a day. And I always let people know that you're not coming into this, full time, for 40 hours right away. It's a learning curve, but if you're willing, things can change pretty quickly for you. So when did Sean come into this, Rachel?
Yeah, I was gonna segue into that. So people think that, or I don't know, they've asked if we met through the business or things like that. So I started this before Sean and I even met. So it's really interesting how we met. And I think it was about a year and a half or about 2 years after I started, we met on Facebook. So we met through a Facebook group and we became friends through there. And then if you want to take over and kind of talk from your perspective, how we met.
Definitely.
All right, now it's going to get really good.
I've been waiting for the spotlight. So
Me too.
Where do I start? Yeah. So before it works, this is a catalyst that I feel has to be said because it wouldn't make sense of how I got involved if I didn't tell you guys my past. So without telling you guys my whole life story and keeping it short and condensed, basically I was a recovering addict. I got arrested for possession of cocaine. Cocaine was my choice of drug, along with alcohol and marijuana and Molly and LSD and anything I can get my hands on. So one day I got arrested, and that was the catalyst for just propelling me forward with everything else that I'm about to tell you. I was homeless at the time too, I was sleeping in my car. I was just living a very dark life. So I got arrested, and I was also atheist. I did not believe in God. To me, it was one of those sky daddy type of things. I laughed at people that brought up God, and I tried to always, come at them or debate them or make them feel stupid. I remember one time I went to Mardi Gras down in New Orleans, and I was an atheist at the time. And anyone that's ever been down to Mardi Gras knows how crazy it is. So there's a group of people with microphones talking about Jesus, talking about God, and I was literally in the middle of the street yelling at them "Your God is fake." I was just going off. I was that type of person. So, which is crazy to think now. So yeah, I got arrested, and then after I sat in the jail cell it wasn't even jail cell, it was a holding cell for 3.5 hours. That was my catalyst to want to change my life. I sat there looking at the graffiti on the ceiling, and I was in my underwear. I felt my manhood was ripped from me because it was cold. I had nowhere. I was trying to get warm. I was trying to figure out how to escape, and I couldn't escape, clearly. And for me, I was like, I need to make a change. I don't know what I got to do, but I can't do this. I can't do this. And the people that I was running with at the time, they're still getting caught up in the law. One of my good friends he's facing prison time with 2 attempts of attempted homicide. I was in that lifestyle, but I got out, and I was like, I need to know. I don't know what to do. So fast forward, I got addicted to rock climbing. Rock climbing was my new addiction, and I did it every single day for 5, 6, 7 hours a day for 6 months, 7 months straight. And I was like, this is what I want to do. It was like an epiphany. I was like, this is what I want to do with the rest of my life. I want to travel the world, and I want to be free. I want to have freedom. And then I was like, wait, how am I going to be free without money? And then I was like, man, how can I make money? And at the time, I had no idea making money online was a thing. Honestly, I've dabbled in other network marketing companies. Not even dabbled. I didn't even sign up, but in my mind, I'm dabbling. And I was like, this is a scam. They're all pyramid schemes. This stuff is fake. Stuff doesn't work. And I was one of those types of people. So fast forward to all that. That's when Rachel and I became friends on Facebook. And I just started seeing her post. Just like she said, if that lady wouldn't have posted that day, she wouldn't have seen her post. She would be where she's at. So Rachel posting led me to notice her. And I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, she's kind of cute. I wonder, let's stalk her Facebook page. So weird. So basically, that's kind of how this whole thing happened. And I just, she was on my radar, and then I saw her posting about the business and having a $20,000 bonus.
You thought all that?
Yeah, and going to Paris. And I was like, man, all that stuff is fake. I was like, whatever company you're with, they're paying you to say this to people. And I was convinced. Even when I went to my first it works the best. I was convinced that the people up on stage were paid by Mark to say all these things.
He's a hard skeptic.
Yeah, I was super skeptical.
But then you saw that one post.
And then I seen the one post, and that's what resonated with me. She had the freedom. Keep in mind, that's what I wanted was the freedom. She had the freedom to take her mom to a doctor's appointment in the middle of a Wednesday. And I was like, wait, what? And then I clicked on her bio, or on her profile, and her bio said retired at 24. And I was like, what? I was like, all right, I gotta figure out what's going on. Because I was 23 at the time, right? And I forget how old I am today. Anyway, so I was like, what is she doing? And what is she doing that she can retire at such a young age? And here I am, a recovering addict, just got out of jail, and I don't know what I'm going to do with my life. Here I am working every day, spending all my money on just nothing and nothing to show for it. Like, what is she doing? So, guys, take some notes on this, because it got me a wife. It got me a child. Take notes. It works. Okay, so for 2.5 hours, I sat on the couch, and I was like, what can I say to this girl? What can I say to this girl to just figure out what's going on? Because guys, there's other guys out there that ruin it for the good guys, and we get pushed in the block list and all this stuff. So I'm like, what can I say to get her attention? So for 2.5 hours, I sat there, I backspaced, and I thought of all kinds of different things, and I was like, what's your secret? And then boom.
That's it. That's all he said. He was like, what's your secret? And I was like, because there's been other guys in the past that tried to use the business or products to try it. And I'm like, I could sense that and smell it from a mile away. But he didn't have that vibe. He was very just like, what's your secret?
I'm a smooth criminal.
And then, oh, I'm sorry, I'm thinking your story.
That was pretty much my story. I asked her what her secret was, and it worked, luckily. And for that night, I think we talked. You have to refresh my memory. We talked on the phone on and off, and collectively we talked about the business for about 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the rest of our time was just talking about life. And I'll try not to turn this into a love story, but it's kind of a love story in itself. So I was hooked after that. As soon as we got off the phone, I was like, Mom, I'm gonna marry that girl. And my mom was like, calm down, Sean. Don't get your hopes up. I'm like, Mom, don't tell me what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna marry that girl. And then fast forward, found out that we lived 4 hours from each other, and every weekend I drove down to Maryland, and and then eventually it just kept spiraling from there.
So he did end up joining the business. It was after about a month. We really didn't talk about the business much. It was more getting to know each other. But he was like, hey, I still kind of want to do that thing that we were talking about. How would I get involved in that? And I didn't really want to push him into it. So I was like, oh, cool, he wants to do it. And so he ended up signing up, and then he was really loving the product. When he started using the greens and a couple of those things with his rock climbing lifestyle, he was like, I actually really do love these products. So he started posting about them on his Facebook and stuff. And so we were I was like, that's cool. That's really exciting that you like the product. And then just kind of hit the milestone. You earned a $5,000 Emerald bonus 7 months later, and then the Diamond $7,500 bonus, I think, after about a year. And so then just to kind of bring it all together for what the business has done for both of us, because of just our lives morphing together. So he was able to move to Maryland, just super randomly, up and come to Maryland, and didn't have to worry about all that. And then we got married last November, and so we were able to pay for our wedding completely in cash because of this business. And that was really, really cool. That was something that just never would have happened without this. Right after we got married, we went on our honeymoon and stuff, but then we had this crazy idea of hey, let's do Airbnb for the first year of marriage and check out different places. So we lived in Vegas for 3 months after we got married, and then we lived in Florida for 6 months. And that was just even talking about it now, those were things that I dreamed about years ago, that I was how is that even possible, And so that's just some stuff that has happened, because of it works, would have never been able to be possible if it wasn't for this business.
Now we're here in Tennessee.
Yeah, now we're in.
And that's what I was going to say. Where are you working this business from now? So, so Sean, this is I know Joel's going to bring it up because I think it's a good thing, but It Works is done. Obviously, financially, it changed your life. You guys have been able to travel, do things, you know, things that we do dream about. There's so many dreams that as kids we think, oh, how can we go do things? But we need the money, we need the funds. Health, you know, what a great thing. You gave up drugs and alcohol addiction and filled it with, you know, healthy stuff. And we know Rachel was all about that, going down that path for health and wellness. So we know this business can do so much for our health. The greens for me is that's my product. I want to say that, you know, I want to scream it from the top of the world right now that it's saving my life. So there's that, but then the money, but then there's also things that happen, you guys, with faith. And those are the moments that I think, at least for me and Joel, that are some of the biggest exciting times of this business, is seeing the transformation of people's whole entire lives. And, you know, people coming in being a skeptic. Sean, I was like you. I was like, there's no way these people are making that. You know, what the heck? They just whatever. But we are real people, guys. We're not. It's kind of funny because I don't want to say we don't get paid. We do get paid by Mark Pentecost, but it's real. It's, you know, what do you guys want? And with things coming up that, you know, huge things coming within the next week and a half. I'm just super excited about that. So, Sean, there was another piece in there that, you know, the more that you've been around the business, you can't help but hear talk about God and Jesus and wonder, is that real? These people, you know, is it something? So where did that come into play for you?
This is my favorite part. Everybody lean in and listen.
Rachel helped a lot with all of it, and it's still a process for me, but I've come such a long way, obviously. But one of the biggest moments for me in solidifying the business was not the money, not all the traveling that we got to do, but when Chad Sneller was up my butt trying to get me to go to the men's retreat for the first time, I was like, man, I can't go. I'm sorry. Like, I got this and money and that and this and that. And he just didn't take no for an answer. He just kept going. And he was like, coming. I'm like, dude, I just told you, I can't come. Nope. He's like, all right, you coming? I was like, all right, listen, if you can find me a ride to the men's retreat, I'll go. And he was like, all right, done deal. Found me a ride, and I went to the men's retreat the first time 2 years ago. Which was crazy. And this next one's going to be coming up shortly. So that was a big moment for me, just being around. So when I first saw this, I thought it was something for just women, honestly. And I think, yeah, business. I think most guys do. So being able to see a different side of, you know, it works from just a men's perspective. Because I played football in high school, and most men, I think, can attest that there's just something about brotherhood that they just love so much. So going to the men's retreat and seeing all of the men and just feeling welcome, and then just feeling like I was a part of like something bigger, you know. And then that year, just I got big things happened. So me and, correct me if I'm wrong, Joe, but 7 other men got baptized.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
So 7 of us got baptized in this nice, clean, crisp lake. It wasn't a muddy lake.
No, it's a swamp. It really is.
But it was great. You know, I remember sitting there looking at Joel, and we had words, and I just dove in, and we just went. And, you know, I got dumped in the water, and I came out, and it just felt just rejuvenating. And it just, you know, coming from my past and not believing in God and not believing in, you know, something else, you know, it just really all came together. And you really do realize that, you know, God's not just like this tyrant or this dictator. Like, it really is a relationship. And, you know, you can call on him and you can just really lean in, you know. And like when Rachel was pushing for triple and she was like, I don't know. It's like, babe, just have faith.
Yeah, he was the one that was like, literally, he was the guy who was like making fun of Christians and, you know, was an atheist just a couple years ago or a few years ago, when that was such a tough month, you know, pushing for that rank. And he was the one that was like, you know, you need to have faith in God. Like, your faith, like, this is your moment where God's testing your faith. Like,
It's really been such a blessing. It really has. So.
And he's not done yet. That's what's cool, is knowing there's so much more. And for those of you that don't know, maybe you caught this, but they are pregnant and expecting. So, you know, I think we just can't judge people. We don't know their story. We don't know what they want. And I love that this business is truly for anybody willing to do the work. You can change and you can be whoever you want with no judgment. And I freaking love that, because they want to go change more lives, give people opportunities. You know, what more can we do? And so the stories are important. We haven't done a long story in a little while, and I thought, gosh, we need to hear it. So powerful, because I get this a lot where people are like, I work 2-3 jobs, or I've got kids. How can I do this and a full-time job? And so if there's a will, there's a way. And I think that's what we need to do right now, is just offer it to everyone. Don't judge, don't take anything, because what they have, this week, guys, is all about really giving that opportunity to them. Like both of them said, Sean and Rachel both said, somebody posted, and if that person wouldn't have posted, their lives could be completely different. The same thing for me and Joel. I look back at that and go, first off, why the heck didn't anybody share about it to us earlier? So I wouldn't have gone through all of this crap and bankruptcy and struggle, but knowing God wanted that for our story to be able to share it. But I'm grateful that she did share it. And for me, people are like, why do you still do this business? Because I always think back to, I wish somebody would have shared it with me sooner. And so it's my job, it's our job, guys, to really offer it and just offer it. Don't overthink it. Don't be like, oh my gosh, what am I going to say? What if I don't know what to say to them? Your job is to get it out there, and we have a team of people that are going to help guide you. Like, that's the biggest thing. It's just getting it out there. Like Sean, just like messaging. Like, I would have been like, yep, there's a creeper one, you know, but you just don't know. Like, now I just let it be, because international men treat this so differently. So I'm like, you know what? I do need to let more men into my feed, because Joel was the one that saw the money. He's like, this is a $1 billion business. Why the heck don't more men see that? So we don't want to judge on anything, but
I mean, guys, even if you got off of this right after this and did a post specifically looking for somebody to join your team, you never know who that's going to reach. So that would be my action step after you get off of here, is that everybody that's watching right now, go on and do some sort of opportunity post, because you don't know who's out there watching right now that needs this. And in the next 90 to 6 months, you could change somebody's life dramatically.
yeah, even a live, just think about that. Just going live, sharing the story of what you guys just heard. Like, that's powerful. There's many parts of that story that I think people could relate to. And not knowing, like, I've had a few, even with the 99, you know, we give them options. Like, do you have things that you can sell right now? Multiple things. Do you, could you offer to babysit for people? What can you do to get in? Because I'm telling you guys, this is huge. Like, even Rachel's like, Steph, other Rachel Jones. I'm like, too many Rachels. She's like, Steph, what do you really feel? Like, what are you really thinking for 2020? I think that she knows I've been around for many years and through a few different runs. And I am excited for you guys, because it is going to be huge. So that is just, take these stories, run with it. We don't need to know everything. It's just getting excited, giving people the opportunity. Past people that have never heard it, look at their lives are completely different in 5 years. College, broke kids, to now parents onto their first baby. Like, who needs that? Lives change constantly. So if you've been in for a while, look back at those people that were 18, 19 years old, because now they're like adults and like for real,
I know.
So
We've been in for 11 years. So just think about that. People that were just freshmen in high school are now able to join our team. It's mind blowing how quickly that changes so quickly.
Yeah. Did you guys have anything else that you wanted to share about that?
You mean like regarding our story and everything?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, was there anything that you missed that you're like, oh, I forgot this?
Yeah, I think like one thing that I wanted to share real quick is because you brought it up with the we're gonna have our first baby in June, and we're like super scared but also really excited. But like it's crazy. I was on my app the other day, my baby center app, and I literally got emotional reading this. I'm gonna try not to get emotional saying this right now, but they were like checklists for like what you need.
Aw.
That's what I'm for.
Aw.
We're like, make sure that you look at child care and that you get that set. And they're like, and I just could skip right past it. I was like, I don't need to look into daycare. I don't need to look into child care. And that's something like I always knew I was going to be a mom. Like I always knew that. And I just remember like rolling silverware at Ruby Tuesday, thinking like years down the line, like what am I going to do when I have kids? I don't want to like, let someone else raise them. I don't want them to be with someone else. And not everyone's like that. That's fine. I'm not going to ever like bash anyone for what they want, but for what I want, like that's not what I want. I want to like be there with my baby every single day. And so to just like scroll past, like right past that, their suggestion of like, make sure, that you're getting the child care set up. I'm like, I don't have to worry about that. And that's just like the biggest blessing ever. Like, I just can't even explain what that means to me. And so I just wanted to share that really quick.
Little did she know it would be from some Facebook random.
Yeah. What a story. But you guys, here's the deal. She made a decision and she got to work. It wasn't overthinking. She didn't even know what the products were. She just knew she was ready to do something about it. And I remember thinking the same thing. I'll do whatever it takes. And so staying up late, there are so many tools that we give you. I didn't have Zooms, you guys. I didn't have Facebook or Instagram or now TikTok or anything to go learn from. But, if you want this bad enough, make the decision, print out your steps to success, those charts, and look at it and go, I want diamond $2,000 a month. What is it going to take to do this? How many people do I need to talk to today? Because I don't want you just thinking about that. With what we have coming, there is no time to just overthink it. It's just get it out there and do what you need to do. And that's probably exactly what you did. You learn along the way. So newbies, it's a process. You're going to look back at your first few messages and go, oh my gosh, how did I talk to these people? But you did it, and that's how you learn. So again, you can go back at, on past Zooms and get scripts and do that. But the more that you guys get out and just really give people the opportunity and let them know, you're going to learn and you're going to feel so much more confident knowing that you're doing that and getting more comfortable with the lingo. Other thing I would do too is, especially newbies, because we're going to be bringing on so many. So you're going to hear, so if you're like, okay, I've been in a year, but I feel like a newbie, this is fine too. But shoot, where was I going to go? Newbie. Practice, call up your mom, go over some product. Do you have a sister? Do you have a friend that you can just go, hey, can I just practice? I'm not telling you that you have to get anything from me, but this is really important to me, and I'm just going to shoot you over some messages and practice. Has anybody ever did that? Like I did. I was a wreck, guys, because I was like, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I need to do this. And so actually one of my sister-in-law let me do that. And so practice, make sure that you're reading up on a few of the things. You don't need to know everything. Just kind of dive in and look in your back office at the products. But stories are important. Remember, where did you start? Write that down. I think on my stories today, I showed, a little bit of what people are, why they joined the business, not what it's done for them yet, why they joined to get out of having to pay for daycare so that they can stay home with their kids. How can they pay for their school books at college? Those are the things when we're bringing them on. What do you want? One was like, gave me a whole long list of, she wants $3,000, but she really wants $30,000. She wants to pay off her car note. She's like, gave me a whole list. So write those things down of what you want, because those are things going to push you through it. Do you have anything?
I would just say, fail fast, fail often, and fail forward, and then fail again. That's the only way that you're going to keep getting better at this, because if you don't do anything, you don't fail at anything, which causes you to not learn anything. when you first start this, you're not going to be the best at it. The only way that you can get better is to continue to fail over and over again. And each time you fail, you get better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, hide that. Sorry. It was just echoing. Okay. So I'm going to mute you guys, and I'm just going to share a couple things. And if I have to, I'll unmute you, but I don't want it to echo anymore. So I'm going to do that. So we show them some love in the comments, because I think that was so important to hear their story. So thank you guys. Oh, I'm just going to end it, and then you guys can just comment if you want, because it was just echoing. So, okay. So we've got the story. So make sure that you get your story. Where do you want to go? How are we going to go into the next couple weeks, ending this month strong, so that you guys are so ready for February? And so making sure that you have your list, making sure that you're using your products. You guys, newbies, I just did a wrap last week. You can go on my page and see my results with 3 hours difference. People want the product. I got somebody that wanted to buy the wraps because they saw my results. I'm constantly using the product and sharing my before and afters, because that gets me the most customers, the most distributors from doing all that, right? Like, that was our best thing that we could do. So the absolute best thing always is get your results. What product do you love? And share about those. Even mixing it, doing all that. Coffee is such an easy thing to talk about, guys, just because everybody does. So the keto coffee was a huge thing. You know, the wraps for me is what sold me, but everything else kept me going with the nutrition. So what can we do to get them in and to try the product? What do you see, Joel, of me? Like, you're constantly seeing me kind of behind the scenes. So what do you see me doing?
Well, guys, I had this conversation. We had a leadership group meet up here. And one of the big things that everybody wanted to know is, well, what does Stephanie do? And I said, well, what Stephanie does is whatever it takes to get somebody to join her. You know, people sit back and go, well, do I need to be on Facebook? Do I need to be on Instagram? Do I need to use TikTok? Do I need to do expos? Do I need to do try-its? Do I need to show up to events? The answer is yes, all of it. And as much of it as you can do on a daily basis until you get to your goals. That's the thing, is you have to be so driven and so focused on what you want that you are willing to do whatever it takes to get there. You know, Stephanie didn't ask how to do anything. She just went and figured out how to get it done. And she kept trying until she figured out what worked, and then she just did more of that. We've always gone through the whole thought process of, if you just keep doing enough things, eventually you'll figure out the things that work. And that's what happens with successful people. They try a lot of things, and what they normally find out is that it boils down to 6 things, a half dozen things that they have to do over and over and over again to be successful in whatever it is they're trying to do. Great thing is that we've narrowed that down for everybody. You got to make sure that you're contacting people constantly. You need to build your steps to success. You need to use products, and you need to talk about it all the time. Those are the things that you have to do over and over and over again until you hit your goal. And so when I see Steph behind the scenes, it's her constantly trying to find that next person alongside of answering all the people that she's already had join. So there's a balance there, but don't get used to managing your business and stop growing your business. You should always be growing your business, and that's what Steph always does.
I mean, even last night, you guys, I think I was up till 2 a.m. trying to figure out TikTok. And so, you know,
you can tell how well we're doing with it now, right? We're doing amazing.
But it's an open market. You know, there's nothing. It's like Facebook. They may allow certain posts to be seen or not seen. We don't really know what their thought process is behind all of it. And social media is good, but I want it to work even better, right? So when I'm hearing TikTok and doing all that and people can just see it, I thought, I've got to learn this. And it makes me go, this is what I love, trying new things, because it's a level playing field. When you're like, Stephanie, you just know how to do it all. No, but I learn. And so if you want to get ahead, you need to start doing those things. How do you do stories? How do you do like Instagram stories? How do you do Facebook stories? Get on and just start playing around with it. So I'm very hands-on, like visual learner. So again, we can give you all of this stuff, but get out and do it. So TikTok's weird, but go and click around on some of the videos and stuff, but so many more people can see that. So you can talk about the product, put your dog out there. What do you love? And I think that that's what people are going to see in those videos. But those are some things that I would absolutely be doing, is getting yourself out visible as much as possible. So social media, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, but also don't forget in person, making sure that, you know, how many people actually hand out Blitz cards or their business card to people. We have a whole, like, real humans that we have to talk to that are out there. And, you know, we went through a few homes and this weekend, and they asked, well, what do you do? And so it's interesting. They're like, oh, I tried the wrap, but we got to talk about so many of the other products because we've evolved, right? And they didn't know that. So I pull out my before and after picture, a couple different realtors, didn't I? Mm-hmm. And they wanted the product, you guys. They wanted the wraps. They wanted, I love the neck and firming cream, the lash serum, the collagen. I'm drinking my collagen. So they're like, well, what do you do? So I shared the products I want, and they're like, that's what I want. So it's not always social. It's out and about. And how passionate are you about your 5-6 things? What are 6 products you love? What are 6 things that you're going to do daily? You're going to add to your list. You're going to message people. You're going to follow up. You're going to sign distributors. You're going to sign customers and repeat. And how quickly can we do that? And so those are some of the things that, without overwhelming you, making sure that we're getting out there and talking to people. Everything else will come after conference. Just so you guys know, next week we're going to be talking a little bit more of what to expect over the next week. The Monday after conference, I'm going to bring you a new plan of what we have lined out. So it's going to be really important for you guys to be on the next Monday, but the following Monday is really going to be the Monday that you're not going to want to miss. I only know a little bit of stuff, and by that Monday I will know a lot of what we're going to do. And it's my goal, it's our vision to see more diamonds, doubles, triples, presidentials, ambassadors, and black diamonds that we've ever seen. And so we're going to really rally this year and just bring it in. I know that It Works is bringing it this year. They've laid that out in 2019, brought us all these amazing products, but now the simple, here you go, put the gas down and run. So make sure you have your list. Make sure you have your list. There's no excuses. There's going to be people that are brand new that come on in a week that will go diamond in a couple of weeks. And so make that decision. But I appreciate you guys for staying on. Hope you love that story. And if there's people that you really want to hear from or that you suggest, reach out to me. I'd love to bring them on and add them into some of our Zooms as we do it. So excited for you guys to have an awesome week. Go sign those DTs. Who's going to get to see and meet Dr. Nassif? I can't wait to see that. But we will see you again next week, Monday. But go crush this week, guys. Have a good night.
See you guys.
Okay.